If you read the thumbnail and title of this video, you'd probably know what this is about and prepare for some story time because I'm going to share an experience that happened not too long ago before the summer started. So here we go. So here's a bit of context. I was in the 7th grade when this started and it was 6th period of my history class and I was just finishing up an end of the year project. The school was coming to an end and I was kind of happy and I was feeling really confident about this, but that would all come crashing down quickly. I am just doing my own work, minding my own business when this group of girls comes up to me and I was like, what do they want? Now here it was 4 girls against 1, which is a little bit unfortunate because these girls have been in my history class since the beginning of the year and I can tell that they were no good. And out of these 4 girls, there was one girl in particular that I knew since kindergarten. We'll call her Rudy because she's rude. Now, these girls just started asking me random questions about my hair because I have naturally curly hair and before I had braids and it was like summertime, so I decided to let them out and I had my hair straightened, which I really did feel nice about. I decided to remain calm and not to escalate the situation by anything and I just answered their questions and I was clearly getting a little bit irritated because they were kind of wasting my time with this and being a little bit stupid. One of the questions that I was supposed to answer is what happens if your hair gets wet? Which you might know this because if you have curly hair that is straightened or silk pressed and it gets wet, then you literally turn into a cauliflower. And then you have to re-flatten it, which can take a long time because of what... And after I told them that, that's when the problem started. Then she takes her water bottle and then holds it up like she's gonna dump it right on top of my head to get my hair curly, which would be a really big problem. No! Legitimately was a valid reaction. After I screamed, she was like, relax, I'm not gonna pour it onto your head or anything. Even though it clearly looked like she was going to because she had a water bottle popped open and ready to dump right onto my scalp. But you thought that was the end of it and I'll just walk away like, my day went great, well, not so great. Nah, there's more, buddy. But this is where it got insane. Since washing, drying, then flattening my hair would take a long process, I instead use a hair product that would keep my hair in one place at all times. So that way I don't have to risk it getting it wet and curly again, which would take a long time to fix. And after I told them that I don't wash my hair, it was a mistake. They looked at each other and then thought for a moment, talking a bit. And then one of them told the other girls to say something in another language. Now, I don't know if it was another language or what language it was. It just didn't sound like English. But after I asked them a couple of times what it meant, it hit me. You're smelly is what it meant. Now, obviously this hit me like a ton of bricks, but inside I was furious. Words cannot express how hard I wanted to hit a punching bag. I was on the verge of tears because of how angry I was, but I just kept my mouth shut and went back to listening to music. I had tears in my eyes. They could clearly see it. Thankfully, they didn't come down, but the girls knew that I was upset. They started apologizing like crazy. And the girl that was told to set it said that she didn't know what it meant, but I just didn't believe her because if you don't know what it means, then why would you say it? All of them just kept trying to apologize to me and tell me that they were sorry and they didn't know what it meant and it was a joke, but I just didn't take it. At some point, the girl who said it even asked me if I wanted anything. Like basically she had this wooden elephant thing and she offered it to me, but I just slapped it away because I was so angry. At some point, this class was about to come to an end and I was getting ready to pack up and go to 7th period. They kept trying to apologize to me, but I just kept blasting music from my AirPods into my ears because I was so enraged, but I just kept my mouth shut. Another one of the students overheard what was going on and she told me that she's going to report it and she's going to help me figure it out. Which honestly made me feel a bit better. Now I know some of you might be asking, Jet, why didn't you just tell it to the teacher? If you think this is an incident just to report to the teachers, think again. Because this situation was something I needed to directly say to proper authorities. When I got home that day, I was pretty quiet and clearly upset. And my mom came up to me in my room. She was like, honey, what's wrong? And I told her what happened, and she was not happy at all to hear that. But my dad, when he heard it, he lost it. I was crying so hard that day because I felt so insecure about myself. But since they're my parents, they showed enough support for me to get my strength back up, and I stood again. We contacted the school and told them what happened, but they obviously got contacted on a meeting on a Wednesday, which they couldn't really investigate the situation. We eventually made it to the counselor, and I explained my side of the story. Rudy explained her side of the story, which was clearly different from all of them, and mine just added up more. She said she'll talk to Rudy and the other girls, but it escalated to a point where it had to be addressed in a more severe case. This ended up turning into an HIB investigation. If you don't know what that is, it's harassment, intimidation, and bullying. But at that point, I was so desperate and sad that I just put down all forms in that. I basically wrote down a statement of what happened, and I guess that was that. Rudy actually managed to keep her mouth shut this time, and that's the end of it. My family was still pretty upset about what happened, but nothing was really done after that. If those girls did something else, then it would turn into a mediation and a full-on conference. I guess moral of the story is do not let anyone tell you to be something that you cannot be. You are a beautiful person, and there are multiple people out there like you, and I could probably be one of them. You are a shining star. Do not let anybody look down on you. And if something happens, say something. Say something. If you made it to the end of this video, I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I cannot believe that this is my first storytime video ever. Although I legitimately feel like there's only going to be 32% of you who watch this part of the video. And I still cannot believe this is my first storytime video ever. And I just also want to say thank you guys so much for the support, and I cannot believe I got this far. I may not be big, but I guess I'm something. I'm just a small content creator, just living here. But it makes me happy. I guess my goal for this video was to share a personal story and find people who could give me some support. So again, thank you for watching this video, and have a lovely day, everybody.